Hello, and welcome to my small but mighty kitchen. My name's Frida, and I have learned an amazing recipe for mochi muffins, which are gluten-free, and they're amazing. That's my oven, preheated. So these muffins just drive people crazy, and everyone asks me for the recipe, and so I'm gonna like map it out and then go into some of my zhuzhi details. So first things first. So when you start the recipe, you wanna get your eggs out of the fridge and put them in warm water, like eggs, because you don't wanna cook with cold eggs. And so that's like the first thing I do is just get the eggs to room temperature. And then I like to melt a stick of butter in the microwave, on the stove, whatever, and I'm going to use half for greasing the muffin tins, and the other half is going to be in the recipe. But that melted butter needs to cool, so that's why I start with these two first. Eggs to room temperature, melt butter, let cool, and then you'll give half to the muffin tin and the rest into the recipe. So once you've got those two started, cooling, warming, we're gonna go to our dry ingredients. And so first things first, I take a separate bowl and I mix all the dry ingredients together. So we'll do 2 cups of mochiko rice flour. So I've got one ready here, one, and then 2 cups of rice flour into this bowl. And make sure to always use this brand, Mochiko. The other brands I don't like, so this is the one. So we've got 2 cups of Mochiko rice flour. And then you want to do a cup of coconut palm sugar. You can use brown sugar, but I like coconut palm sugar. I like it's got a good feeling. So I'm going to do a cup of this. Coordination here. 2 cups. I don't weigh when I bake, so this is totally just like eyeball to the top. Not totally packed, not flush, but here's 1 cup of coconut palm sugar. And then we have baking powder, very important. We'll have 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And then we'll put in a teaspoon and a half of kosher salt. So 1, and then like an eyeball half. So we've got that. So that's salt, baking powder, mochiko rice flour, and the coconut palm sugar. And then you want to just mix it up so that the sugar and the flour are mixed together. Okay, and that way it's like consistent. Looks like cinnamon sugar, the texture. So that's our dry ingredients. Then the next thing is putting all our wet ingredients into my mixer. So I had already warmed up some eggs. So we're going to start with 2 eggs. 1, 2. So that's 2 eggs. And then because we had saved that half a cup, when we melted the stick of butter, 1/4 of the cup is going to go in here. That's a 1/4 cup melted. And then put the rest in the muffin tin to butter it. And then you put a whole can of coconut milk. And this is my favorite brand, this Thai coconut milk. This is my favorite. So add that in there. I'll do a little scrapey scrape. So hold on. Sorry on my first video. So coconut milk. And then we will do a teaspoon, generous teaspoon. I call it like overflowing teaspoon of vanilla, organic vanilla. And then a tablespoon of blackstrap molasses. This is what makes it so magical. So nice, ooh, generous. I'm gonna do a little scrapey. All right, so we have molasses. We have all the wet ingredients: molasses, vanilla, eggs, coconut milk, and melted butter. So it's gonna make some noise. And my mixer's a little broken, so I have to do this jiggy to it, so don't laugh. So first thing. So I have to hold it up. Because if it goes down, it makes an obnoxious sound. So that's what I'm doing. So I mix it until all the liquid ingredients are incorporated. And right now, can you see that? Well, that's what it looks like. And then the next thing is we're gonna have the mixer on just the lowest setting, stir, and then I'm gonna add the dry ingredients. Now I'm gonna have my back to you because I don't know how to do this video thing. So, but I'm gonna put it in. So here we go. So add in slowly. Okay, so now it's mixing, stirring, and holding it because it's broken. All right. So then what I'm going to do, take my little spatula and I'm going to just push down the sides just to make sure we've got all the dry ingredients. So just push it all down. Do one more stir. And that's it. It's so easy. Okay, so I'm going to do a little dust off. There we go. And so let me see if I can get a good angle with light. So that's what the batter looks like. It's thick, but it still moves, right? So it's not super slow. All right. So with this batter, I'm going to put it into the muffin tin. Let me come bring it over. So I had already put melted butter. I don't think I could show this to you. Melted butter into my muffin tin, but I didn't get a chance to like distribute it. So I just do a little, take a paper towel, just go around. This really makes the edges really crusty. So I like a lot of butter inside the muffins. Here's that. Okay, that's all done. Meow. Okay, we have the thingies. And then I take quarter cup scoop and I'm just gonna scoop it into the muffin tin. So this will just doing this. Yeah, it's pretty thick. So I wonder if can you see that? Yeah. It's okay. And then getting in here. Final 6. Okay. Soon I'm gonna have to do like a scrapey scrape from inside, but Okay, I have to do a scrape, so hold on. Get the batter out from the cup, jiggy, and then I'm gonna scrape it down, scraping it down. It almost looks like the color of butterscotch is what it looks like. If it was like butterscotch frosting textures, it's what it, or like a mocha frosting. Because it's thick. Oh, you get my drift. All right. So I've now filled the muffin tins. See that? But it's kind of lumpy, so I need to do a little pound it down. So I pound the muffins. And then this is my like zhuzhy part where I take black sesame seeds and then I sprinkle them. Sprinkle, not a totally exact science, but hey, sprinkle. And then I take white sesame seed, toasted white sesame seeds, and then I add it to the black. Sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. Sprinkling. Yeah. Okay. So these now have two colors sesame seeds, but my favorite part of these muffins is I use Maldon salt, which is like a flaky salt, and I put it on each one on the top. Just a little zhuzh. A little bit of salt. It makes it like savory on the top and then more sweet underneath. So this was my favorite touch, was adding the salt. So these guys are now going to go into the oven. And so I like to put it on a little cookie sheet, final view. Okay, putting them in 350 oven. They take like 55 minutes to an hour to bake. And so I'm just going to set a timer. I'm going to put a timer for 55 minutes. But then I will check it probably every 20 minutes just to turn it. And so, but this is the basics of the recipe. You can zhuzh it and do a version where you add like cinnamon or ginger or cardamom, whatever you want to add. That's also an option. I did the plain regular ones. And so I'm making one more batch, which I'll do a spice version. And so I'll add a little recording to this showing that version. But when these come out, I'll show that as well. But what I'm going to do now is clean this up, clean it all up, and get ready to make the next batch. And so I'll be back. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so I'm back. And now I've tidied up and I'm getting ready to make the second batch. And so I've already combined and mixed all the liquid ingredients. So that's ready to go, ready for dry. But what I'm doing differently for this batch, I'm going to do add some warming spices just to mix it up so it's sort of more molasses, ginger, cinnamony. So what I've done, I've already put all the dry ingredients together like I had earlier. See, it looks like cinnamon sugar, like a lot of cinnamon sugar. And then I'm going to just put together some spices. And I like to go a little heavier on ginger, so it's more like gingerbread. So I just wing it every time I do this, you know. And so this time I'm doing 2 teaspoons of ginger. I'm going to do 1 of cinnamon. I'll do half a teaspoon of clove, like kind of a scant teaspoon, half a teaspoon of clove, and then I'll just throw some cardamom for zhuzh. Okay, I'm just gonna stir that all up. get all these spices ready. And then I'm going to add it to the dry mixture. So put on the spices here. And now I'm going to stir it all up again. So all the dry ingredients are distributed. Oh my God, it smells so good. So it's all there. Now I'm going to add this dry to the wet. So I'm going to have my back to you again. So sorry, here we go. Stir. Great. Going in. Dry. Okay. So dry is mixing up. Woo. I'm going to stop it and scrape down the sides. Okay. Very excited. Woo! Okay, swear I don't have COVID-19, but I was going to wash my hands anyhow. Hello. Washing. And I'm still washing. La, 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 la. You know, just a service break. Washing. Okay, I'm going to turn this back on to finish it up. It's going. Okay, it's looking good. All right, I'm stopping it. Then taking off the little mixer, leaving it on the side. Get this off. All right. So this batch looks just maybe a little bit darker than the first batch. Not much though. And so I'm now going to do the same thing and scoop it into a ready muffin tin. But the thing that I do differently to differentiate the spiced muffins from the plain ones is I'll only use one color of sesame seeds. So this one I'll just do only the white ones, but I'll still keep the salt. And so I'm not going to do that again for you. I'm going to pause you for now, wait till a batch. I'm going to turn it so you can see what it looks like as it's cooking. So I'll be back. Yeah. Alrighty, so I've got the second batch prepped, the ones that's going to have the warming spices in it. So just plain sesame seeds, and I'm going to take out the muffins that are currently in the oven and turn them for even distribution. So and then I get to show it to you. Alrighty, so here they are at this stage, and I'm going to turn them now in the oven, and turn them in here, turning, and then I have about 25 more minutes left, so that was about at the half-hour point, and so I will come back once they're finished. Alrighty, I wish you could smell the smell in here. It's amazing. I'm gonna check on the muffins just to see where they are. And so, hold on. Let's take these out. Oh yeah. All right. So, how do I show you this? Get closer. Okay, so these muffins are still squishy. See, like when I push, that's too squishy. So I'm just turning them again. They smell so good, but their tops are tight, but we don't want any squish. Okay. Here we go. And all right, I'll be back to take those out soon, maybe 10, 12 more minutes. Okie dokie. I'm going to take them out of the oven now and put in the next batch in. So I'm going to take them out. Here we go. So let's touch this batch. And they're darker brown, there's white. They're still soft, but they're pretty crispy. Crispy, crispy. I don't want them overdone, so I'm going to keep them out, but they're going to stay in the tin for 20 more minutes. So put them on a cooling rack. Cooling rack. All right, next batch. Going in, here we go. And I'm going to set my timer for another 55 minutes. And I'll be back for second batch. And I'm back, and I've done the muffins 20 minutes in the muffin tin, and now I just took them out on the cooling rack. They're warm. They're pretty firm. They still have squish in the middle, but the outside is nice and crispy. There we go. Muffins, cooling, yes. I left them in the muffin tin for 20 minutes, and now I'm going to turn the spiced muffins. So, taking out. Here are the muffins. This is 20 minutes. I'm just going to turn them. See, still super squishy. All right, going in. I pulled it out. Now I'm turning the muffins. Be back in 35 minutes. Boy. Last part of the video. Here we go. So I just took the last batch out of the oven. This is the spiced batch. So here they are. These are the spiced ones. They're very crispy, but they do go in, but they're pretty taut. And then firm. So I'm going to put these on the cooling rack. And now here is the original first batch of muffin. They're like pretty crisp, like firm, with a little bit of squish. That's what they look like. It's basically 60 minutes in the oven. Mochi muffins. And I'll include the recipe at the end, the printed recipe. And I just want to give credit to Snixie's Kitchen, which hacked the recipe from Third Culture Bakery in the East Bay. And so mochi muffins are the best. Enjoy. Finally did it. Made the video.